in the top area. Actually, he's out parking cars. We really, really, really appreciate this. It's unbelievable the response we've had. The pits are full. I don't think we can get anybody in here. We do apologize to anybody that has a not so nice parking spot in here, okay? But we are at capacity. Our parking lot is at capacity. We're parking across the street.
This Knox marked car, we're not going to part of it. What the officials down here see on the track and what the tower sees, how the car's going to be made. No, the guy hasn't raced in 10 years. His name's Earl McDonald. He's very fair, and he's not prejudiced. He's going to make the calls. I don't think Earl hates anybody. Yeah. They'll look at your car too, and they'll tell you if it's running too bad.
At this time, we're going to have the prayer, tonight's prayer for the racing, followed by the national anthem.
Can we all stand and remove your hats? Let's take a moment of silent prayer for Mary Kane, who used to race here forever, and Mrs. Petrus, who's a member of the Petrus family. Can we just have a moment of silence? Lord, we thank you for today, Lord, and for the many people that showed up, and just keep the racers safe. Let us all have a good race, and Lord, just keep us mindful of what life is all about. And we'll give you the honor and glory in your precious name. Amen. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All out on the racetrack right now.
Driving these are kids from about 8 to 12 or 13 years old getting their first taste of action. If you're interested, you can buy one of these cars. They're factory made in North Carolina. If you've got a son or daughter interested in this, or you just want one of these Bandoleros cars, you can inquire through the Speedway. How good is it to have some actual racing here at Barberton Speedway? Hey, before we really get going, how about a hand for yourselves? We got a crowd of almost 2,500 here tonight to watch these cars and many others getting going. Almost 2,500 folks that were excited about the reopening. And we'd like to thank Mayor Zita, who gave us the green flag. Nice job. We have a white flag this time. White flag.
This time off of turn number 4 to half fast heat for the late model.
We're getting ready to drop the green. This will be a 10-lap heat. The fast heat for the late models, we're going 10 laps. The mare has the green in hand. Here they come. And we're revving. That's Doug Summers in the 3. Doug Summers in the 3. And Mike Miller in the 53 with him every inch of the way. That's Roger Smith in the 43. Glenn Galt in the 32. In the red 12, that's Bubba Smith. Scott Baker in the 4. Don Harvey in the black, the 112. And that's Gary Whipke in the 39. Miller looking to make the pass. They come neck and neck again as we go to lap 5. Lap 5 of 10 here in the late model fast heat. It's Miller and Summers at the front as it's been the whole way. Lap 6 now. We're on lap 6. Lap 7 now with Doug Summers still showing the way. Doug Summers still showing the way as we see the white flag. Lap 9 here. A white flag out for lap 9. And there it is, the checkered flag. Doug Summers, the late model fast heat. How about a hand for Doug Summers here? Nice turnout in the orange. Summers Racing. Celebrating his win here in the fast heat with the late models.
Testing 1, 2, testing. Speak closer.
And we're green here in the modified heat. Green flag here in the modified heats. And that's Tyler Noweski into the infield. That's a green flag for the restart of the modifieds. We have a green flag and we're racing. That's Tyler Noweski out in first. Scott Archer there. Wait, folks, we got camera phones and we're about to have some racing action. That's a green flag again.
We give the trophies right now on the track for these guys. I got them. Heat race trophies.
I don't think we gave one of the big ones.
I can take it down here. You want to do that? Let me get them ready.
That's fine.
Showing the way, that's the 15 car, Tyler Noweski. And there's on the pass, Scott Archer takes over the lead. That's Scott Archer. In the 28, that's Scott Archer showing the way. And TJ Steinman there on the inside trying to get involved as well. Everybody chasing Scott Archer there into the far turn. That's halfway. That's 5 laps in. We're at the halfway point. Six laps down and everybody's still chasing Scott Archer. Steinman in second, battling Ty Schaefer. The black and the orange, Scott Archer from Canton, Ohio, way out in front of this heat. Getting ready to show the white flag. We are 9 laps down. The white flag is out and everybody's still chasing Scott Archer. He's got a comfortable lead. The checkered flag is out. 10 laps down, and the winner of this heat, Scott Archer. Taking the checkered flag, everybody, that's Scott Archer. We got another Legends Heat race getting ready to roll. And we're going green here in this Legends Heat race.
You want me to take him down?
I'll take this one. I'm going to You need to watch this.
The 43, folks, that's Kevin O'Connell showing the way. Rudick, Graff, Purdy, and Bromate chasing him, but that's Kevin O'Connell in the 43 showing the way 2 laps into this Legends Heat race. Four laps down, and it's still all Kevin O'Connell here in this one. giving chase. That's Chase Purdy, but it's still all Kevin O'Connell here. Seven laps down, 7 laps down. The white flag is out. The white flag is out. It's still all Kevin O'Connell here in this Legends heat. He's into the far turn. And the checkered flag is out. The winner of this Legends heat, Kevin O'Connell. Green flag is out. The green flag is out. Here comes our 4 competitors. And we got a race here. Another 10-lap heat race of Legends cars. Davis, Bolt, Minier, and Miller are the 4 cars here. Davis just in front of Bolt. Heading to close that first lap here. That's Tim Davis in the 20 car showing the way.
Starting on the pro, it's going to be a race. Eventually, open up the bottom there with the 9. Oh.
And we got a new leader. At the halfway point, we are halfway home. It's Bolt in the 9 taking the lead. And Jack Miller right there in second, Davis back to third. So really a 3-car race here as we make the turn 6 laps in, 6 laps down here in this Legends heat. And everybody chasing Donald Bolt. Jack Miller coming up trying to make it interesting. He's still chasing Bolt. 8 laps down, folks. 8 laps down and 2 to go here. The white flag is out. 1 to go. It's Donald Bolt. Bolt trying to hold off Miller. They're into the far turn. And here they come with the checkered flag out. Last chance and he won't get there. Donald Bolt wins this Legends heat. That's the number 9, Donald Bolt.
And we're going to give him the white flag, this time by the 82 of Jeff Bowling, the 5 of Billy Becker, 33 P, which is the yellow number 33 of Kenneth Price. The 40. The 40 of Rodney Ronders. The 33, the green 33 is Rodney Burkhart. Green flag is out of turn number 4. Heat race action underway for the street stocks going into turn number 1. The 82 of Bowling gets a little contact from the 5 of Becker. Open up the inside for the 40 of Rodney's. Rodney takes over the lead, takes over the second spot. And it's going to be a caution flag for the 08 of Earl Goldie. And it's going to be 10-lap heat race for the street stocks. Looking for the green flag off of turn number 4 from Chief Starter, Ed Tenney. Green flags out for Bowling, Price, and Becker. Rodney Reigns 33 of Ron Burkholder, green flag. Gonna look for it off of turn number 4, green flag. Good start there by Bowling and Becker. As Bowling, he's gonna pull into the race lead. Becker, he's gonna stay in there in second. Price there in third, as there's gonna be a battle there for the 4th spot between Burkholder and Reigns. As Price got into the back bumper of Becker, just a little bit there off of turn number 2. Contact there between Burkholder and Price. Just a little there off of turn number 4. As Burkholder and Reigns still battling there for the 4th spot, as Burkholder looks to be clearing the 40. As Price dives in on Becker into turn number 3. The 5 of Becker closed the door just a little early enough, as Burkholder and the 40 still battling. As Foster Mackey in the 30 sits there in 6th. As the 08 of Earl Goldie rounding it out. Oh, almost contact there, and a little bit of contact there between Price and Becker. As the 30 of Foster Mackey, he's going to go across the infield. Just a little bit of contact between him and the 33 of Burkholder, and caution flag is out. As it's going to be Bowling and Becker going to look for the green flag one more time. Green flag is out over turn number 4. Good restart again by the 82 of Bowling and the 5 of Becker. Side by side going into turn number 1 off of 2. Still side by side. Price giving a little nudge to the 82 of Bowling. Just a little bit there off of turn number 2. As the 40 of Reigns there on the outside, as Bowling slides up just a little bit. So did the 5 of Becker. 33 of Price just got a little bit loose there off of turn number 4. Almost made contact with the 40. As the 33 of Burkholder, he's falling back as the 08 of Earl Goldie is on the move on the outside. Still battle up front as it's going to be halfway. 5 and 5 to go for Jeff Bowling, Bill Becker, Kenneth Price, Earl Goldie, and Ron Burkholder. As the 40 of Reigns, he sits there in 3rd. Then it'd be Price, Earl Goldie, and Burkholder rounding out your top 6. With Foster Mackey 7th and the 27 of Henderson rounding out your field. As Bowling starting to pull away from the 5 of Billy Becker. And it's going to be caution. Caution on the speedway. Getting into the back end of the 40 of Reigns. So far, 6 laps and 4 laps to go. It's going to be Bowling and Becker. Green flag is out. So far, past 2 restarts have been wonderful by Bowling and Becker. Good side-by-side up front. As Bowling, he's going to take over the advantage off of turn number 2. Reigns there in the 40 going to look to the inside of Becker for the 2nd spot. As Burkholder in the 33 battling. As the 82 of Bowling so far leading, as Reigns there in the 40 going to the inside of Becker for the 2nd spot. As Burkholder in the 33 going to the inside of the 08 of Earl Goldie. 5 of Becker dives in there and spins and misses. Doesn't even hit anyone. No one hits. Everyone missed him, as it's going to be Bowling. Bowling, Rott, Rayans, Burkholder, and Goldie going to bring it in. They're going to be good start there up front. As they're battling up there, as it's going to be Bowling coming across the line. And the checker flag going to the 82 of Jeff Bowling. Number 82, give a hand to your winner, the 82 of Jeff Bowling. As it's going to be time to move into the compact heat race, 10 laps. Green flag is out. As it's going to be Rowan and Fuchs up front. That's going to be Combs and Jayberg there behind. As Fuchs, he's going to pull away with the race lead. Going into turn number 3, as it's going to be Rowan and Jayberg battling there on the outside. As they're going to get pushed just a little as Combs there in the 63, Finlayson in the 15, Van Meter in the 27. As the 22 going around the outside of them all, trying to make it 3 wide, trying to make it stick as they're making it 3 wide deep in the pack down the back straightaway between Finlayson, Boyzek, and Van Meter. Boyzek, he dove it going into turn number 3. He's going to take over that race spot deep in the pack as he's now Boyzek to the outside of Combs with the 63. He's going around the outside for the 5th spot. Now he's going to look to the inside of the 22 down the back straightaway. And that 22 is Dominic Sassidi there, and he just folded back to 4th as Boyzek, and the 22 now going around the outside of Rowan for the 2nd spot. As the 50 of Oliver getting shuffled back there in the pack after he was fastest. And Boyzek now going and looking to the outside of the 28 of Fuchs. And it's going to be halfway, 5 in, 5 to go for Fuchs, Boyzek, Rowan, Sassidi, and Jayberg right there at the line. But Jayberg, he's getting company from Van Meter, and now Oliver in the 50. And Boyzek, he's going to just do a little bit dirt burning there over in turn number 4 and saves it. Boyzek so far leading ahead over Fuchs with Rowan, Sassidi. It's going to be Van Meter and Oliver. Oliver, he's going to try to make a 3 wide around the outside of Sassidi there in the 22. Trying. He backed out of it just in case coming off with number 2. As Oliver looking to the inside of Sassidi there, that's running the 22 with Van Meter in front. As Van Meter now looking to the inside of the 0 Rowan. Ooh, just a little bit of contact there, turn number 1. Van Meter, he's going to fall back almost. As he's now going to look to the inside of Rowan, going into turn number 3. Does it, backs out of it. Now the 50 of Oliver looking to the outside. White flag, 1 lap to go for the 22 of Boyzek with Fuchs behind. Now Van Meter, good run, almost maybe clearing side by side. Ooh, almost. Almost there on the turn number 1 and 2 between Van Meter and Rowan there. And off the forward to the checker flag, your winner, the 22 of Boyzek. Finishing second, the 28 of Fuchs. And third at the line, it's going to be the 27 of Van Meter with the 0 of Rowan and the 50 of Oliver. And to the checker flag, give a hand to your winner, the 22 of Kevin Boyzek. Bandoleros. And then we're going to take a little intermission. And we're going to have some treats. And we're going to go green flag. So after this, we're going to take a little short intermission. And we're going to do some of that, what was on that flyer that was made. We're going to have ourselves a bicycle giveaway. So these cars putting on a good show so far. So did the Legend cars. Same manufacturer, basically. Hopefully you kids are antagonizing your parents just to try to get you one. As there's a battle up front between the 9 and the 29. These are actual kids. These are kids from probably around the age of 8 to 13. If you look at some of those Legend car drivers, some of them are kids also, but also those Legend car drivers are from New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, Connecticut. So far, you've seen some pretty good racing action here tonight. Hopefully, all of you race fans will be back tomorrow for the feature action with the late models, modified street stocks, and compacts. So raise your hand up if you're coming back tomorrow for feature action here at Barberton Speedway. And a good start there by the 29 as he jumped out front of the 4, but here comes the 9. He's going to look to the inside of the 01 going into turn number 3. Makes it a stick, gets it off of turn number 4. It's going to be white flag for the 24 in the Bandolero second heat. And to the checker flag, your winner, the 29. Give a hand. And give a hand to your winner, the 29. If I don't have his name. But give him a hand anyway.
that Mid-Vid video?
Mid-Vid video!
No.
And to the outside is going to be the 30. Then it's going to be the 68, 57. It's going to be green flag over turn number 4, green flag for Thomas. And the 8. That's the wrong number 8 I've been announcing as the 8, gets contact there off of turn number 2, slaps the wall just a little bit. Going into turn number 3, the 5 of Debbie Thomas. She's going to take over the race lead. The 30's way high off of turn number 4. Almost hits the turn 4 wall right there off the corner. Down the front straightaway. As that 30, he's running that second groove. So is the 57 of Larry Ennis Jr. Then there's the 16 of Bobby Gaynor. And the 91, all battling back in the pack. As right now, Debbie Thomas in that number 5. She's holding on to a good line up front. Then it's going to be the 24, then the 68. And then the 2 of Boyzek. Another Boyzek there in the number 2. As Gaynor makes a little contact, maybe just a little contact there with the 30 off of turn number 2. Didn't seem bad enough. He kept on going. He keeps on going. The 16 of Gaynor going to get around the 30 off of turn number 4 that time. Is Gaynor, he's going to move up into the 5th spot. Boyzek now looking to the inside of the 68. Into turn number 3 as the 68 looking high at the 24. Down the front straightaway of Homrick to the outside. Battle there for the 2nd spot as Debbie Thomas. She's holding a good line out front, pulling away from the battle that's there in 2nd between Homrick, the 68, and Boyzek. All battling. You can put a blanket over top of them. As it's going to be halfway. 5 in, 5 to go. For the 5 of Debbie Thomas. As Homrick, he's going to get passed by the 68 coming down the front straightaway. Going into turn number 1 and 2. Homrick gets down to the dirt just a little bit. 68's going to clear him off at turn number 2 and take over the 2nd spot. Homrick now back to 3rd as the 2 of Boyzek. Sitting there, gets a little loose. Open up the inside for the 16 of Bobby Gaynor. Gaynor just doesn't have the power off at turn number 4 to catch up. Gonna get him there going into turn number 1, maybe. Oh, not enough. As a 91 of Anthony. Battling there to the outside. And Ennis back in the pack, all battling. As the 5 of Thomas. As her lead starting to shrivel up. As that 68 is starting to close in. Probably not enough time for that number 68 to catch up to Thomas there in the 5, but Boyzek now going around the outside of Homrick for the 3rd spot. Making it clean and clear, coming in the middle of 1 and 2, and he's going to pick up the 3rd spot. And off of turn number 4 to the white flag, 1 left to go for the 5 of Debbie Thomas. As Boyzek now putting a pressure on that 68 for the 2nd spot as the 68 and the 2 all closing up to the 5 of Thomas. But Thomas might have it cleared and does. Off of 4 to the checker flag. Your winner, the number 5 of Debbie Thomas. 2nd to the 68, 3rd to the 2 of Boyzek, 4th to the 24 of Homrick, and 5th to the 16 of Bobby Gaynor. As she's pulling to the line in the Rick's Automotive and Transmission Diamond Tires, the number 5, give a hand to your winner, the 5 of Debbie Thomas. And if you guys were listening, you just heard the band, which is right next to the tower. That's going to be with the after party. Coming up after the racing here at Barberton Speedway. Hope everyone stays, enjoys, makes some new friends, grab a couple beers, and hangs out. Last heat race for the compact says it has the 02. The 02, then the 8 of Norris. Battling up front, Norris, she's going to take over the race lead. Is there 3 wide? Oh, 4 wide there off of turn number 2. Ooh! As the 02, he squeezed right there in the middle. As that 72K, he's going to go around the outside. Now the 18 gets in the back bumper of the 8 over here in the middle of 3 and 4. Good racing so far here by the front-wheel drives of the compacts. As the 8, she's going to leave the bottom open for the 18. As the 18 almost had it off of turn number 2, but the 8's going to clean and clear. Now, the 8 using the high lane in. Ooh, almost. Oh, 18 sliding up just a little bit. Almost makes contact with the 8, but saves it. Good side by side, and at the line, it's going to be the 18 by mere inches over the 8. As the 7 sits there right behind, which that is Rocky Nails in the 18 and Brandon Nails in the 7. Sitting there in the inside. 18 pushes up just a little bit. The 8 almost gets into the wall again off of turn number 4. As Nails there in the 7 going to the inside of the 8 for the second spot. As the 54 battling there behind. As the 33 of Sam's also battling there. Then I think it's the 17 of Atwell. Atwell also to the outside of Sam's. As the 8, she is stuck in the outside lane trying to get to the inside. Now Sam's going to get around the 8. Here comes Atwell. Atwell now to the inside of the 8 down the back straightaway. Atwell, he's going to take over the 5th spot. So far, good race. It's going to be halfway off for turn number 4. 5 in, 5 to go for Nails. Nails, the 54, 33 of Sam's, and the 17 of Atwell. And Nails looking to the inside of Nails up front for the race lead. As it's going to be Brandon Nails there in the 7. Rocky Nails in the 18. Good side-by-side racing there for turn number 4 at the line. It's going to be the 7 of Brandon Nails taking over the lead from the 18 of Rocky Nails. As the 33 of Sam's now going to get a good run to the inside of that 54 down the back straightaway going into turn number 3. Side by side up front for the top spot between Nails and Nails. As Sam's battling there with the 54 for the 3rd spot. And Atwell sitting there in the 17, just looking for a good line. As the 13 of Hahn now looking to the inside of the 8. Atwell gets into the back bumper of the 33 of Sam's. Just a little bit, not too much. As Brandon Nails in the 7, he is pulling away from the 18 of Rocky Nails. As the 54 still to the outside of that 33 of Sam's, and Sam's had a brake check there just a little bit off of to number 2, 17 Atwell, hitting him just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit, as it's going to be white flag, 1 lap to go for the 7 of Brandon Nails. 54 taking over the 2nd spot using the outside lane over the 18 of Rocky Nails. Good side by side, open up the inside for the 33 of Sam's, and but he closed the door off of to number 2. Sam's going to sit there in 4th now, as Rocky Nails there in 3rd, and off the 4 to the checker flag, your winner, the 7 of Brandon Nails, 2nd to the 54, 3rd to the 18 of Rocky Nails, 4th to the 33 of Jarrett Sam's, and 5th to the 17 of Mike Atwell. Give a hand to your winner, the 7 of Brandon Nails. Flag, 1 lap to go. We're going to go green flag racing action here for the street stock. Heat race number 2, as it's going to be the 7 of Mark Kern up front with the 85 of Chris Mick alongside. 55 of Kyler Bertram, 17 Mike Atwell, 2 Rick Piercy's. The 80 Robbie Patterson, 44 Larry Smith, 87 Eric Miller, 28 Waylon Orr, green flag, 10 laps. Second heat for the street stocks, green flag is out off of turn number 4. Good start by Chris Mick going into turn number 1. Chris Mick on the outside. Kyler Bertram getting into the back bumper of the 7 just a little bit. There in the middle, 1 and 2. Just a little bit. As the 80 of Patterson. He's going to get split right down the middle, down the back straightaway, going into turn number 3 as the 87 of Miller on the outside of Patterson deep in the pack. As battle up front between Chris Mick and the 7 of Mark Kerner. So is Bertram. Bertram also right there trying to figure out which lane would be best as he's looking inside and outside as he's going to give the bump to the 7 just a little bit there in the middle, 1 and 2. He's going to try to get to the inside. Try to boot the 7 up as a little bit of sparks coming out from underneath that 55 of Bertram there. Just a little bit there through 3 and 4 and also there in 1 and 2. As so far, Bertram sliding up just a little bit. Got a little loose, almost got it into the side of the 85 of Chris Mick. As Mick still looking to the outside and trying to make it happen. Gets into the back end of the 55 of Bertram just a little bit. Bertram trying to get to the inside. As Bertram now to the inside of Mark there. Mark getting a little loose and saves it as the 55 of Bertram now to the outside of Mark Kern for the race lead. Side by side for the top spot. As the 7 of Mark Kern there to the inside of the 55. Kyler Bertram there to the outside. Trying to get around the 7 of Mark there as the 2 of Rick Piercy's there sitting there in third. Piercy's now to the inside of Bertram there off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Bertram using the power on the back straightaway. Trying to get it. Piercy's getting into the back bumper there just a little and caution coming out for the 87. And Chris Mick almost hit the tire. Tire there right front from the 87 of Eric Miller. Almost coming across the track. And we're going to go green again as it's going to be Mark and the 55 of Bertram. As Bertram trying to get a good run to the inside. Mark going to give him a little rub there in the middle as he's going to slide up just a little bit on the 55 of Bertram as the 2 of Rick Piercy's is going to go to the inside going into turn number 3. 3 wide going into turn number 3. Piercy's getting into the back end of 7 just a little bit. 44 Smith. Ooh, contact off of turn number 2. Hard contact there off of turn number 4. Hard hit there off of turn number 4.
fix the frame one. Stand back, guys, in case something. Yeah, I'll check.
Get laps if you're lucky.
We off that car yet? Not yet. Watch yourself, Eddie. Watch out. Clear. Might roll back. Let off the brake a little bit. Let it roll back. Anything we can do to help, we got a scrap yard.
And the 2 of Rick Piercy seems to have a right front tire down. So we're gonna pull the Greg's tow truck up, lift that 2 car up. Hopefully he can get that car fixed and ready to go for tomorrow's feature racing. Pappy doesn't even know how many championships his own son, Mike Miller, who drives the 53 late model, doesn't know how many championships he's won here at Barberton, but he does know how many championships he's won at Mid-Vid, which is 7. So Mike Miller probably has roughly around 10 championships combined with 2 tracks. And the green flag came back out with the 55 of Bertram, Atwell, Mick, Orr, and Patterson there in the 80 as Mick and Orr putting on a show there for the 3rd spot as Orr on the outside. Coming off of number 4 white flag, we'll have to go for that 55 of Kyler Bertram. As Orr and Mick still putting on a show there for the 3rd spot off of number 4 to the checker flag and winner the 55 of Kyler Bertram. 2nd to Mike Atwell, 3rd to Waylon Orr, 4th to the 85 of Chris Mick, and 6th, 5th to the 80 of Robbie Patterson. And picking up the heat race win from Springfield Township, Ohio, the Lakes Auto Recycling, Bond Heating and Cooling, Falls Auto Body. Give a hand to your winner, the 55 of Kyler Bertram. The 88 of Dennis Wood and the 22 of Chet Colmar is in the 22. Green flag off of turn number 4 between Colmar and Wood. Green flag is out. 10 laps, 30 for the street stocks. As Dennis Woods there on the outside as the 23 and the 11 make a little contact there in the middle of 1 and 2. Now Smith to the outside of the 03 of Hughes going through Turn number 3 and 4, they're side by side. Smith on the outside. As the 92 of Tim Schmidt, he's stuck on the outside as Tucker going to go around him on the inside of that 21. Burden there in the 1, now looking to the inside of the 92 as Smith tried to look to the inside of the 03 of Hughes there for the 3rd spot. As Hughes gets into the back bumper of Colmar there just a little bit for the 2nd spot is Colmar to the outside, Hughes to the inside. Smith going to dive in there just a little bit, make a little contact, and contact there between the 11 of Brian Smith and the 22. Robert Burkhart there in the 23. Then you got the 21 of Jim Tucker from Michigan, and green flag's going to come off of turn number 4. Green is out for Wood and Colmar going into turn number 1. And Wood using that inside lane. He's going to take over that race lead still over the 22 of Colmar. As the 92 looking to the inside of the 1 of Dan Burden there deep in the pack, with Burden using that outside lane, using the power on the outside. As Chase Hughes in that 03, trying to get to the inside of that 88. Gonna look to the inside there off of turn number 4, 88. Almost slid up just a little bit to let that 03 of Hughes go by. As the 23 has problems there in the front, he keeps on going inside and outside. Black flag coming out for that 22 of Chet Colmar as he looks to be leaking fuel or something there on the racetrack. Could see it when it comes off of turn number 2. Going into turn number 2, you can barely see it, but you can see it. And a white flag is out for the 88 of Dennis Wood and the 03 of Chase Hughes. And off of turn number 4 to the checker flag, your winner, the 88 of Dennis Wood. Second to the 03 of Chase Hughes. Third to the 22, Chet Colmar. Fourth to the 21 of Jimmy Tucker, and 5th to the 11 of Brian Smith. As is going to be green flag for the Bandolero feature with the 01, the 9, the 4, the 29, and the 51. Green flag is out for the Bandolero feature. Again, this will be a weekly division here at Barberton Speedway next year. Can purchase one of these Bandoleros for kids, or I think it's around 8 to 13, possibly a little bit younger, I could be wrong. And it costs about $5,500 to purchase one of these. Same maker of the Bandolero is also the same one for the Legend car. both made out of North Carolina. And if you guys are looking at some of these cars to purchase, that 29 car that's running in second is for sale. And also the leader car is for sale also, if I just seen correctly. The number 9 that's out front is for sale, and the 29 is also for sale. So if you're looking to get into one of these, maybe swing over to the pits after the races tonight, possibly get yourself a good deal on that number 9 or maybe that 29 Bandolero. If I heard correctly, they run somewhat of a lawnmower engine. Ed Tenney down there, he was making some jokes earlier saying these things are as fast as a lawnmower, and, well, kind of sort of is a lawnmower engine, if I heard correctly. Could be wrong on that. As they just flying by, as that 29, he's going to get in the back bumper. That 9 just a little bit there in turn number 3 and 4. Trying to get around, trying to do the little bit of a bump and run here in the Bandolero feature. And Ed Tenney just gave the halfway last time by as the 9 and 29 putting on a show up front. Almost just a little bit of contact there in turn number 1 in the middle of 1 and 2. And it's going to be 5 to go at the line for the number 9 and the 29 as they're putting on a whale of a show up front. Is that 9? Bandolero, he keeps on getting closer and closer to that grass over in the middle, 1 and 2, and they're going 3 wide into turn number 1 over here with that 4, the 01 and the 51 right in the middle. As that 9 keeps on getting closer and closer, but that 29 starting to close in and try to make a run. '29 still trying to look to that inside of the 9. Give him a little nudge there in the middle, 1 and 2. Now he's going to look to the inside, but just doesn't have it. It's 29 going to fall back there just a little. Get the move over flag for the 51. As the 9 starting to pull away just a little bit over the 29. Move over flag coming out again for the 51. Off of 4 white flag. We'll have to go for the number 9 and the 29 out front. And off of turn number 4, the checker flag, your winner, the number 9. And as he's climbing out, the number 9 of Donald Buell. This is also the same one that's going to be in the number 9 Legend car. They're coming up soon. Well, congrats, Donald, on picking up the Bandolero feature here at the reopening of Barberton Speedway. In this, now you're going to have to go and jump into the Legend car next.
Yeah, all day in this car. The heat coming in, the brake locking up. I couldn't get it fixed right, anything. But after tonight, right now, I mean, it was working great. You know, it went through the corners. I mean, this track is so hard, and you gotta. Both turns are different, so you come in, you gotta do one thing with one turn, then one with the other. So it's really fun.
Congratulations on picking up the reopening feature win here at Barberton Speedway.
All right, thank you.
Give a hand to your winner, Donald Buell. For the second heat for the modifieds, as it's going to be Hudson, Saunders, Embry, McNeely, Adams, Elkins, Swaney, Sibla, Mako, and Courtney. Green flag is out for Hudson, and Hudson, he's gonna save it there, and he's gonna stop right there in the middle of the infield. Hopefully he's gonna come back out, and caution will come out. Caution on the speedway. Caution on the speedway for that number 92 Hudson and the 41 of Rodney. Soldier going into turn number 1 is Hudson. He's going to backtrack in there just a little bit on the inside. As Embry got into the back bumper of him just a little bit. Embry's going to slip up, maybe get into the back a little bit of the side of the 51 of Elkins, but doesn't. Keeps it clean and good. Elkins now to the outside of the 92, but just doesn't have it. Still trying to get around that 10 of Nathan Embry. As the one of Jesse Adams getting a little loose there off of turn number 2. Mako, he checked up just to save it, as Elkins and Embry still battling for the 4th spot. Elkins to the outside of Embry there. And Hudson, he's saving that car, but he's opening up the bottom as he tries to close it there. Embry got into the back bumper of him just a little bit to let him know. Embry trying to get to the inside of the 92 of Hudson, as it's a battle up front between Rodney Saunders and the 15 of Sean McNeely. McNeely still trying to put pressure on Saunders. That's going to be halfway, 5 in, 5 laps to go for Saunders, McNeely, Hudson, Embry, and Elkins, your top 5. Hudson getting a little loose there off on turn number 2, opening up the inside for Embry. Embry just not having it. Embry trying to still put pressure on him, as McNeely putting pressure on the 41 of Saunders up front. Embry getting into the back bumper of Hudson there just a little bit in the middle, 1 and 2. Got to the inside going into turn number 3. Hudson going to give him room. Embry going to slide up just a little bit there in the middle of 3 and 4. But Embry's going to clear Hudson going into turn number 1. Embry now over the 92 of Hudson, and he's going to take over the 3. Now McNeely to the outside of the 41 of Saunders for the race lead. Saunders on the inside, McNeely on the outside. Battle up front between McNeely and Saunders, as Elkins going around the inside of the 92 of Hudson. Hudson opening up that inside lane, and it's going to be white flag. 1 lap to go for the 41 of Rodney Saunders, as that 15 of Sean McNeely still putting pressure, as the 10 of Embry finally getting around the 92 of Hudson off of 4 to the checker flag. Your winner, the 41 of Rodney Saunders. Second to the 15 is Sean McNeely. Third to Nathan Embry. Fourth to Rick Elkins. Fifth to the 92 of Mike Hudson. And pulling to the line from Painesville, Ohio, the dynamic duo Beverage and Deli, TNT Bakery. Your winner, the 41 of Rodney Saunders. Hey, John Chapman. You kind of sort of just pocket dialed me. Just saying. I understand we're friends and all, but 28 is from North Carolina. That is Giovanni Bermonti there in the 28, starting on the outside. The 8 there on the inside of row number 3. The 9 of Donald, who just picked up the feature win just a couple races ago. And the Bandoleros, he's there on the outside starting 6. Then you got the 87, 51, and the 20 of Davis, if I'm correct. As we're about ready to go, Legend Car Racing. 20 laps the distance, green flag is in the air. As we're going racing, Legend Car Racing here at Barberton Speedway. As about 3 wide down the back straightaway, going into turn number 3. Ooh, that 17 just cut it close as he backed out of it there, going into turn number 3. Side by side, almost up front as the 12 is looking to the inside of the 43 for the race lead. Gives him a little push there in the middle, 1 and 2. The 8 runs there in third. Contact there in turn number 2. Off of turn number 2 between the 28 of Giovanni Bermonti and the 9. Caution coming out for the 28 coming down on the 9. As we're going to go back, green flag racing off of turn number 4. Green flag is in the air for the 43 and the 12. Ooh, the 12 gets a little loose there on the start. But the 43 is going to take advantage of it, and so is the 8. The 8 is going to move up into second. Now the 12 back to third, 17 sitting for 87, sitting there in 5th. As the 9 of Donald Bull, who just picked up the Bandolero feature win just a little bit ago. As he's getting around the 20 now, so is the 28. As so far that 8 car is out front clean. As he got around that number 43 of O'Connor there in the 43. And that 12 car trying to look inside and outside of the 43 for the second spot. Gives a little bump there in the middle of 3 and 4 and makes a run off of turn number 4 and takes over the second spot. The 12 up to second. 43 is going to return the favor there in the middle, 1 and 2, but got a little loose there off of 2 and he falls back to a couple legend lengths behind. As that 8 car, he's putting on a good show out front, as he at least put on a good 10, 15 legend car lengths between himself and that 12 car that's sitting there in second is the 43. Trying to put pressure on that number 12 car for second, as the 87 sits there in 5th. As the 17 just hanging on there ahead of the 87. 17 went up a little high there off of turn number 2, opening up the inside just a little bit for the 87. 87 just doesn't have the speed or the car hooked up correctly to try to get there. But the 28 got around the 9 there a couple laps ago, as now he's looking to the inside of the 87 into turn number 3. The 87 opening up the inside. There's the 28. Now looking to the inside down the front straightaway, going into turn number 1. Goes into turn number 1. The 28 will take over the 6th position as the 87 tried to battle back there off of turn number 2, but just didn't have it. But the 28 will pull away with it, as the 43 going to the inside of the 12 off of turn number 2. The 8 has lapped down cars in front of him. He has to back out of it just there a little bit. As the move over flag coming out for the 51. Ooh, the 51 came down and almost made contact, if not did make contact with that number 12 in the 12. Spinning over there in turn, off of turn number 2. As the 12 spinning on his own, we're going to go green flag racing. The 8, the 43, green flag is out. As the 8 of Purdy, he's going to jump out into the race lead. Chase Purdy, and then the 8. As the 43 sitting there in second, as the 28 of Giovanni Bernanti trying to look to the outside of the 17. Tried to look there last couple laps. Now he's going to look to the inside, going into turn number 1. 17 is going to let him go. He's also going to let the 87 go around the inside also. Battle there now for the 4th spot between the 87 and the 17. As the 87 coming off of turn number 4 will take over that 4th position. As the 8 of Chase Purdy is hanging a good wheel up front with the 43 there in second, and the 28 of DeMonte there in third, with the 8 I think is a Miller, and the 17 sitting there in fifth. As after off of turn number 4, it's going to be 5 to go. 5 in, 5 to go for the 8 of Purdy, as he's ahead of the 43 so far. About a good 6-7 legend lengths, and cautions out. Cautions out as of Purdy is out front of the 43. Then you got the 28 of Giovanni Bernanti. Then the 87 there in 4th, the 17 in 5th. Green flag is out from Chief Starter Ed Tenney. The 8 gets a good start. 43 is going to drop down. He's going to look to the inside, going into turn number 1. Cuts it close. Cuts off the nose of that number 28 of Bernanti. Going into turn number 1 is Bernanti. Now going to look to the inside, going into turn number 3. Good side-by-side there. Ooh, made a little contact there between Bernanti and the 43. Devin O'Connor. I think it's Dustin O'Connor. That's going to be the 17. We're going to go green this time by off of turn number 4. As it's going to be Purdy and O'Connor there up front. Purdy put a good start there at the front. And they're side by side. And green flag is out with 5 laps to go here in the Legend Car feature. As Chase Purdy, he is taken over the race lead again over the 43 of O'Connor. As the 17 car sitting there in 3rd, as the 12 sits in 4th. Still looking to the inside and outside, but he overdrove it just a little bit. As the black flag coming out for the number 20 is off of turn number 4 to the white flag. Well up to go for the 8 of Chase Purdy. Then the 43 of Dustin O'Connor there in second. And again, the black flag coming out again for that 20. Into the checker flag, your winner will be the number 8.
Okay.
That's his first win?
First burn.
Almost got the wall, man. He's a back up just a little bit.
Yeah, I say I was.
I told him that the burnout wasn't a good idea with this when he came out for his shopping cart, but he's got 30 wins, so why not?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a national champion. Pretty much.
Pretty sure they got your trophy upstairs somewhere, bud. Ask for it when you get paid.
That's harder than
Take your helmet off. Bro.
Chase,
I feel old.
Put the helmet
Now.
on the
Move
backside.
the helmet.
I feel old now. He's 15. I started now 13.
Here you go, sir.
Thank you. All right. Uh-oh.
Smile, man.
There you go, James, right here.
Smile. Give a
Mark,
big
can
smile.
you get it? My phone froze. Dang, what I want your phone.
One more. Good. All right.
Spinning over in turn number 2 already. And the green flag is out for Johnny Hughes and Bob Snyder Jr. And the green is out. As Hughes is going to go into the advantage, as Ripley's going to follow in behind. He's going to take over the second spot. Snyder going to try to take over the inside. Snyder sitting there in third is Doug Mate there behind him. Then the 99 of Hayes and the 09 of Jimmy Thrill. As Johnny Hughes slightly pulling away from that 22 of Ripley, but Ripley trying to close in. As Johnny Hughes is out front, the 22 of Ripley in second, Snyder in third, Mate in fourth, Hayes in fifth. That's your top 5 so far for the second of 3 heat races for the late models. As that time by was halfway for Hughes, Ripley, Snyder, Mate, and Hayes as they're coming in. 6 and 4 to go for Johnny Hughes. As Hughes putting a couple car lengths between himself and Ripley. That is running 1-2. Then you got Snyder there in third. Then you got Mate in fourth and Hayes in fifth. And off of forward to the white flag. 1 lap to go for the 03 of Johnny Hughes. To the checker flag, your winner, the 03 of Johnny Hughes. And pulling to the line in the 03 from Uniontown, Ohio. Auto Direct Transport Majestic Trailers, the 03. Give a hand to your winner, the 03 of Johnny Hughes. It might not be Dave McCallicker. I think that's Dave McCallicker sitting down there in the grandstands, but I could be wrong. Hey Dave, is that you in the orange? As we're going to go green this time by the final heat race of the evening. Green flag off at turn number 4 for the 53 of Hiddle and Martin. Green flag is out, and Martin's going to try to close it and go into turn number 1. Martin closes the door, but he slides up. 53 getting a little loose. Open up the inside for the 8 of Mayo Spence. Spence to the inside of the 53 of Hiddle there for the second spot. Takes it away. Now Kramer, getting to the back bumper of the 53. Just a little love tap there in the middle of 3 and 4. Ken White, 53 of Tony Hillard, 29 of Jason Kramer, 47 Joe Slintz, and green flag is a good start up there by Martin and Mayo Spence. Spence on the outside, Martin on the inside. They're good racing up there, and Spence is going to take over the race lead going into turn number 3. Spence is going to clear the 3 of Martin off of turn number 4, and Spence will be your new race leader as White getting a little loose there off the corners. Kramer, he's trying to look inside and outside of White to take over the 3rd spot. White backing off just a little bit off of turn number 2. Hillard there in the 53, trying to figure out which way he wants to get around that. 29 of Kramer, as right now Spence is out front with Martin in 2nd. Martin still not giving up, trying to catch up to the 8 of Mayo Spence. As Martin still looking to the inside of the 8 of Spence. As so far, White keeps on backtracking it just a little bit off the corners as Kramer trying to get around. Kramer down to the outside of White to take over the 3rd spot and does so off at turn number 2. Kramer now taking over the 3rd spot over White. White will fall back to 4th. Open up the inside for the 59 of Hillard there. As the 47 of Slintz sitting there in 6th. As right now, Spence holding a good wheel up front ahead of the 3 of Martin. Martin still trying to look inside. Almost had it there going into turn number 1 and off at 2. But Spence, using a high exit there off of turn number 2, was able to prevail into the race lead, even more ahead of the 3 of Martin. Martin going a high entry in, trying to get a low exit off of turn number 2, trying to close up the gap between himself and Mayo Spence in the 8. Kramer, he's just hanging on for a good 3rd place run as White and Hillard, they're battling there for the 4th and 5th spot. And so far, still a good battle up front between the 8 of Spence and the 3 of Martin. Martin get high entry off a 4 white flag, 1 lap to go for the 8 of Spence and the 3 of Martin. Martin going high there in turn number 1, trying to close the door and close in on the 8 of Spence. And off of 4, Martin ran out of time off of 4, the checkered flag, and winner the 8 of Mayo Spence. 2nd to the 3 of Dave Martin, 4th to the 29 of Jason Kramer, and coming home 4th to 59 of Ken White, and 5th to the 53 of Tom Hillard. And pulling to the line from Perry, Ohio, the Junction Auto family, the number 8. Give a hand to your winner, Mayo Spence. Again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out to Saturday night here at Barberton Speedway. Hope to see everyone tomorrow night for feature racing action as we got the late model 75 lapper, 50 lap for the modifieds, 40 laps for the street stocks, and the 40 lapper for the compacts. So again, hope to see everyone tomorrow. Hope everyone stays for the after party. And we will see everyone tomorrow here at Barberton Speedway for the first annual Cavalcade.
Okay. Bye-bye.